Hello everyone, in this video, I will explain every major difficulty system for Appel, including the Michael Chan system, Aggro, Practice, Balanced Michael Chan, New Michael Chan, the Grassy Guys system, the Geometry Dash system, Sheep Expansion system, Themadpunter system, 1 to 5 scale, W Pitano scale, Old Degrassi Guys scale, ETOH scale, and Celeste difficulty scale. This video is intended to be a sequel to the previous difficulty scale video I made. A lot of new changes have happened since then, such as the Themadpunter scale and the Grassy Guys scale, so I felt like I should make another updated video on the subjects. The Michael Chan scale is a difficulty scale created by Michael Chan for use in the Absurd Appel project. The scale is currently the main scale used in Appel. In this scale, the explosion emoji and the bomb emoji are used to measure difficulty. One bomb is worth 10 explosives. Difficulties are either written with emojis like this, or with numbers like this. The Michael Chan system was later extended to become the Extended Michael Chan scale. The Extended Michael Chan system adds 2 more emojis: Dynamite, which is equal to 10 bombs, and Sparks, where 10 of them equal 1 explosive. This extension also allows decimal difficulties, like 1.3 explosives. Aggro is another difficulty scale that was used in Absurd Appel. Aggro is calculated by adding up the aggro values of each jump. The aggro values of each jump have never been specified, and then getting the average aggro value of each checkpoint. Aggro and other traditional difficulty systems aren't exactly connected, so converting between them doesn't work too well. Practice is another weird difficulty system that ranks how much practice it will take to beat the level if you have the skills required to beat it. Levels that don't require much practice will have a lower practice value, but the practice value will also naturally go up based on the difficulty. The Balanced Michael Chan scale is a joke scale invented by CWK-15764 that people eventually started to seriously use. The scale ranks levels on a scale of 1 to 10 explosives, where 10 is the hardest possible Appel level that can ever be made. The difficulty of a level in the Balanced Michael Chan system is roughly equal to 1.6 times the cube root of the normal Michael Chan difficulty in explosives. The New Michael Chan system is the system that Absurd Appel uses starting from the Absurd Appel DX update. The system uses a numerical system from roughly 1 to 15, with each difficulty having the normal difficulty and a harder difficulty with a plus at the end, such as 12+. The tiers are Easy, then Hard, Expert, Master, and Remaster. The Easy tier goes from 1 to 3+, the Hard tier goes from 4 to 6+, the Expert tier goes from 7 to 11+, the Master tier goes from 12 to 14+, and the Remaster tier is 15 and 15+, and likely everything higher. The Grassy Guys system is a system created by the Grassy Guys with help from Wyatt Penguin. The scale consists of 6 tiers, each of them with 3 sub-tiers: low, medium, and high. The tiers are Beginner, Intermediate, Advanced, Expert, Master, and Grandmaster. Each tier also has an icon. In addition to the 6 normal tiers, there are also higher tiers of Grandmaster, with higher Grandmaster tiers being named Grandmaster 2, Grandmaster 3, etc., as well as getting a tick added to their icon. This system has a lot more information about it, so if you want to learn more, you should watch the Grassy Guys video on the subject. The next difficulty system is the Geometry Dash system. This system ranks levels into tiers with stars, and also tiers with difficulty phases. In order, their difficulties are NA for levels that haven't been given a difficulty, then Auto with 1 star, Easy with 2 stars, Normal with 3 stars, Hard with 4 or 5 stars, Harder with 6 or 7 stars, Insane with 8 or 9 stars, then Demon with 10 stars. Demon is further split into sub-difficulties, with Easy Demon, Medium Demon, Hard Demon, Insane Demon, and Extreme Demon. The Sheep system just has number ratings as well as names for the rating systems. The ratings are 0.5 for Baby, 1 for Easy, 1.5 for Medium, 2 for Hard, 3 for Harder, 4 for Insane, 5 for Insane EX, 6 for Extreme, 7 for Extreme, 8 for question mark, and impossible for 10 plus. The sheep expansion system is similar to the sheep system, but with some changes and more difficulties. The difficulties are 0 for baby, 1 for easy, 2 for medium, 3 for hard, 3.5 for harder, 4 for difficult, 5 for intense, 6 for remorseless, 7 for insane, 7.5 for insane EX, 8 for madness, 9 for extreme, 10 for extreme, 11 for question mark, 12 for impossible, 13 for ascended, 14 for tasks, and 15 for CWK Tail's Wrath. The difficulties from baby to remorseless are the normal difficulties, then from insane to extreme is the soul crushing difficulties, and from question mark to CWK Tail's Wrath are the point of no return difficulties. There are also sub difficulties, which are names for the digits at the end of the integer difficulty. Transition is 0.00, bottom is 0.1 to 0.20, low is 0.21 to 0.40, mid is 0.41 to 0.60, high is 0.61 to 0.80, peak is 0.81 to 0.98, and skyline is 0.99. The Themadpunter scale is a scale with decimal ratings for level difficulty. Each jump in +1 difficulty is fairly equal, and you can rate levels with up to 2 decimal points of precision. 1 on the scale is easy, then 2 is medium, 3 is hard, 4 is harder, 5 is insane, 6 is expert, 7 is extreme, 8 is madness, 9 is master, and 10 is grandmaster. 11 through 14 are grandmaster plus, grandmaster plus, TAS, TAS plus, and TAS plus. However, the old names before they were renamed are crushing, punishing, impossible, TAS, and TAS plus. The Themadpunter scale also has sub-difficulties, with 0.00 being the average for that difficulty, and the difficulty stretching down 0.5 and up 0.5. Floor is -0.5. Bottom is -0.5 to 0.4. Low is -0.4 to -0.25. Then -0.25 to 0.25 has no modifier. Then high is 0.25 to 0.4. Peak is 0.4 to 0.5, and skyline is 0.5. Skyline is used instead of floor, so floor easy is the only time floor is used. The 1 through 5 difficulty scale is a difficulty scale that rates levels into 5 tiers: beginner, intermediate, advanced, expert, and grandmaster. The W Pentamino scale, created by W Pentamino, has a scale that is in base 12 instead of base 10. It has some difficulty ratings detailed on screen. The Old the Grassy Guy scale is another scale with numbers corresponding to named difficulties. These named difficulties being 0 effortless, 1 easy, 2 medium, 3 hard, 4 difficulty, 5 challenging, 6 intense, 7 insane, 8 remorseless, 9 extreme, 10 inhumane, 11 terrifying, 12 catastrophic, 13 horrific, 14 unreal, and 15 plus nil. There are also sub-difficulties. 0.00 is transition, 0.01 to 0.20 is bottom, 0.21 to 0.40 is low, 0.41 to 0.6 is middle, 0.61 to 0.80 is high, and 0.81 to 0.99 is peak. The ETOH difficulty scale is primarily used in the Roblox game Eternal Towers of Hell. The difficulties are just tiers, with decimal values for the difficulties as well. The easy difficulty goes from 1 to 2, medium is 2 to 3, hard is 3 to 4, difficult is 4 to 5, challenging is 5 to 6, intense is 6 to 7, remorseless is 7 to 8, insane is 8 to 9, extreme is 9 to 10, terrifying is 10 to 11, and catastrophic is 11 to 12. There's also sub-difficulties here too, with baseline being 0.00, bottom being 0.01 to 0.10, bottom low being 0.12 to 0.22, low being 0.23 to 0.33, low mid is 0.34 to 0.44, mid is 0.45 to 0.55, mid high is 0.56 to 0.66, high is 0.67 to 0.77, high peak is 0.78 to 0.88, and peak is 0.89 to 0.99. ETOH also has some cool event difficulties, but I'm not going to cover them because I don't feel like it. The Celeste difficulty scale rates levels based on the highest checkpoint/room of the level. The scale has 6 difficulties: Beginner, Intermediate, Advanced, Expert, Grandmaster, and the Grandmaster Plus difficulties, such as Grandmaster Plus, Grandmaster Plus 2, Grandmaster Plus 3, etc. There are also modifiers which show whether a level is easier or harder than most levels in the category, those modifiers being green, yellow, red, and cracked, which is only used in Grandmaster. Now, here are some bonus systems that people use. The hallucinating dev scale ranks levels from 1 to 100 on their difficulty. The OP system has tiers. The harder system has tiers to the sub-difficulties. The P8002208 system has named difficulties. The LBS Scratch system has named difficulties. The 301 Scratch system rates levels from 1 to 20 stars as well as tiers. The CO28U system has tiers. And that is every difficulty system in Appel. That was a pretty long video, and now you understand how every system in Appel works. The only thing left is a giant conversion table, and here it is. This video wouldn't be possible without the Appel Wiki. The Appel Wiki is a massive page of difficulty scale information, and that's where most of the information in this video comes from. So a massive shout out to everyone who edits the Appel Wiki. Specifically 62220 Scratch, by the way. He edits the wiki so much and made pretty much the whole difficulty page. Now that this video is done, everybody please invent more difficulty scales so the video is immediately outdated and never standardized on one scale. Thank you for watching and have a great day.